Leos, welcome to your November 2020 tarot card reading. Let's get started right away. So, last month, and at the beginning of this month, carrying on to November, something changed. And I'm going to say it is not within yourself. It's within your environment. I think something big had happened. And it's something to challenge the way your beliefs are. When we don't realize how powerful we are, we allow people to step in and tell us how we can be better without even knowing what we're doing. We allow people to give us advice that doesn't suit us because they think that we're at a point of our lives where we're not. I'm going to say this, and I think it will resonate with a lot of you. We have the star, and the moon card was overall, but we have the star, the sun, and the moon. There's not much I can say more about manifestation. When I talk about power that we can have, power that we can hold, not just power and I have a lot, but power and I can do a lot, not only for myself but for other people. We get into these modes where we get kind of scared of it, where we say that I only have it, and people will not understand me. I want you to step out of that for a second. There may be people in your lives right now that you've been trying to explain things to that have not quite understood that you are the way that you are and you're not going to change your opinion on it. The Queen of Swords talks about someone who's independent, but it also talks about someone who's cold. It talks about someone that uses her sword to talk more, her sword in her hands to talk more than her mouth does. And that's fine, but it's usually not the type of person we aim to be unless we're looking for something specific. We have the star card at the beginning of the month. These are the beginning of the month and the month. But at the beginning of the month, we have the star card. And it talks about manifestations coming true. It talks about being right about something. Being downplayed is the worst thing that you could do to anybody. But when we're being downplayed, and then on top of that, nobody's realizing what we can do, we end up not, for you guys specifically, I feel like you guys end up not necessarily shutting down yourself, but shutting others down. Thinking that nobody will understand you, not even the people that have been there for you the entire time. But anyway, the star card talks about manifestation, and I feel like something's coming true for you this month. You could be right about something. You could be stepping into just this kind of energy and of happiness and kind of, I'm really seeing a spiritual sense here. Like you guys may be practicing something. You guys could be researching religions, practicing magic, or just kind of just doing things. Doing things that you found online or you've been taught before and you guys are kind of applying it to your lives now. When I talk about Leos this month, I'm talking about someone who has decided that you have made up your mind. Has decided that you know exactly what you want and you have done it before, so you could do it again. I'm kind of getting this sense of sassiness about you guys this month. And sorry, these are just cards I pick on the side for me to really interpret this reading. But I'm kind of getting this sassiness about you guys this month that doesn't allow people to explain their side of the story. It's hard to not treat people the way that people have treated us because that's all we know. When I think of Leos, I think of a good friend. A great friend. Do not be the type of person that you didn't like because it didn't work out in the past. This month you're going to be tested on how true you can remain to yourself, regardless of the things that you will have or the things that you were right about. It's about knowing that you could be right about something, you could be independent about something, you could be breaking away from something, but not hurting people in the process. And I don't think that you're necessarily hurting people. I just think you're shutting out, and when we shut out, we're alone, and sometimes we look back on the people that were in our lives and we think, you know what, that person has everything for them, so let me become that person. And you don't need to do that. There's something to be said about, and again, I'm honest, I shuffle the cards, pull them, but there's something to be said when we have the moon, sun, and the stars. How interchangeable are we between things? How are we able to not allow the way that we feel to shut out people? It's okay to want to be alone. It's okay to look at everything that you've done and how you've moved throughout your life based on the situations that has happened. But it's never okay to blame anything. And that includes yourself, because what happens, happens. And we cannot allow that to interfere with the way that we think about the world, the people that have always been there. Because you're not that type of person. You have to be able to know that you can be independent, but you do not have to be cold. You do not have to become the person that you kind of were intimidated beforehand. I want to talk about the Tower card again, because right under the Tower card we have the Sun. Again, this is for the end of the month. We have the Sun right under the Tower card. So we have these kind of opposite looking things. This tells me that by the middle of the month, you guys are going to run into a situation that reminds you of the person that you've always been. You guys are going to kind of evaluate yourselves this month from the person that you know that you truly are and the person that you've become, and you're going to look out upon that. This month is it's really about self-reflection. And I'm not saying this to say that, you guys are being mean to others and da-da-da-da. I'm saying this to say that you have to notice the change in yourself too, because I don't know, and I'm not here to judge the reasons why we're mean or kind of, push offish about other people. But I'm here to say that you have to recognize that, because I don't know what goes on in everybody's lives individually to the reason why we push. But we have to step into the person that we were. I'm not talking about child you. Like the Sun is usually associated with children, and obviously Leos, and Geminis, but I'm not talking about child you. I'm talking about the person that you know inside. By the end of the month, and the advice that I have to you guys is to not be afraid to start all over. You can do it again, and you can do it 100 times better. I'm getting a specific message from either a parent that has kind of separated themselves from religion for their kids, or a religion from their partners, and is looking back out and saying, you know what, I made a decision and I don't regret it. My advice again to you guys, and it's going to be all month, is to look back at everything you've done, the good and the bad, and know that that doesn't have to dictate the person that you are. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I will see you next month. Bye.